All right,
All right.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And dear viewers, I'm Sami Higab, your host, and today I've got a very special guest, a very close friend of mine. Well, actually, also we have a common friend between us, Moz, who was actually on a podcast before. Um, and Mustafa was actually studying in the UK with us at the same university, but I don't want to do injustice to him, so I'm going to let you, Mustafa, introduce yourself, where you're from originally. Just give us a little idea about your background, and what you did after you finished your master degree and so on. Just give us some idea about yourself. Go ahead, Mustafa.
All right. Walaikum assalam, brother, first of all. And I'm very happy that you invited me here, and I would love to share my journey with you and, put it out there to all of the people to get guidance from it if it's possible and if it's good for anybody. So, yeah, as you already and you and Moz know, but it's for everybody else. I'm from Lucknow. It's a small city, not very big in the central part of India. And I I come from a farmer's family, you can say. My grandfather and my great grandfathers, they were all farmers, and my dad, he moved on to a city and he studied and he did some research work and he got a job in a government based research facility. So yeah, that's how we got introduced towards the city. He was the first man to come into a city and work on something scientific and something which is changing with time. So not very stagnant sort of. I mean, yeah, not only just working on whatever is given to you from your forefathers. So he wanted to do something new and he wanted to go forward with the time. So that's what he did. And moving on, like when I completed my study, first of all, I did my computer science bachelor's in computer science from the city where I belong. And after that, I was getting a job which was like I was not getting paid very well, so I didn't took it. And we were like group of three four friends, and we thought of something like to do something together. And two of them were from civil background, and I also being closely attached to them and hanging out with them all day. So I also got a little bit of knowledge about civil engineering and how things work actually in construction industry. So we thought of to gather a little amount from everybody and get everything together and buy a piece of land and then start a small construction company. And that's what we did. We didn't go for any conventional jobs or anything, and we started our own business. And Alhamdulillah, everything was going very good. For 3 4 years, we worked very hard and we gathered a lot of money, and things were really going good. And that's when I thought that maybe I need to do something different. I always had a dream of going out from my own country and having an experience of like what's going around in the world and how things are going on. And that was a window which I always wanted to explore. So I opted for a master's degree in the UK, and that's how I came to Aberdeen, Scotland, and got to know you and Moz, and that was some of the best days in my life, I would say, and that was the best experience, all in all. Yeah, so I did my master's in information and network security from over there. That was a cyber security related program, and Alhamdulillah, I finished it. And but sadly, I tried. I kept on trying over there when I was there, but I tried a lot. But having lack of knowledge and things not working your way, I didn't get any job offers or anything like that. So I have to come back to India and then resume my that construction business that was already being taken care of by my three other friends when I was away studying in the UK. So yeah, and so that's how everything was going on, and like we wanted to do something big, like as we were building small blocks of house, privately owned houses, small units of houses, and that's when we decided that we've got a good amount of money. We thought to buy a bigger piece of land and get everything together and maybe make a apartment, over it, and that's how when the things turned a little. towards south, I would say, because we acquired everything. We bought the land and we got an agreement. Everything was sorted and like everything was done. But suddenly, as like nobody was expecting, there was a guy who was already like these types of things happen every now and then in our countries here, uh, mainly Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India, and Nepal and these Asian countries. Somebody else was having a forged document of it, like from the time when we were not even born. They were like pre-owned land. It's coming from owner to the second owner to the third owner. That's how. And like I am like my birth year is 18 and 89, but somehow he got some documents, some faulty documents out of the court. I don't know how, but you can do that. After that, I got to know, and he got it transferred to in his name from 86, 1986 or something, that he had an agreement on that land and something of that sort. So he put an appeal in the court, and we we were not allowed in that land from then on. So it's still lying there, and we're having a court case running. So that's a bit of a hardship that you can say that we faced in our lives, and things would have been very different if things were going as they were before. So yeah,
So
that was
basically,
something that yeah,
let me just try to understand. So
yeah,
you purchased the land, and then
mm,
the previous owner sort of, they inherited the land or something, and then they said proved that they still hold they were still holding the title deed into that land, and they
yeah,
reclaimed that land. So you basically you've invested in this piece of land, and you lost all the investment that you made effectively,
yeah,
and now
yeah,
you've got a
correct.
court case saying, well, you've made this. Is there, if you spoke to the lawyers about this, is there a possibility you can get back your investment or back your money, or do you have a chance to, reclaim that land, or
Yeah.
what are
So
what are
the
the lawyers
thing,
saying in India?
yeah, the thing is that we've tried everything that we could have done, like legally, what everything could have, like we can do. We've done everything, and the thing is that only the court can decide now, and that like the document that he's having is a forged document, and we have got. My account, I've written checks and from my account, so I've got a very solid evidence on that. That to the owner, like who was before us. So I've written so many checks in his name, and one of my friends have also done the same. So we've got a solid amount of evidence for that. But still, our constitution being so that nobody gets held for what they have not done. So being very very just, they people tend to use all the small loopholes if they get any chance of doing that. So that's what's happening with us, and yeah, that's that. Like I was not thinking of including all this long story in my small introduction as you asked, but yeah,
No, no,
that's how.
it's very useful what you're sharing, because it's important for people to know if people are thinking of doing business or anything like that. You will face obstacles. I mean, I myself, I made a lot of
Oh
money
yes,
on the stock market, and then there came a period where within weeks I lost what I built up over several years, just like that. So it happens,
see, so yeah, that can happen.
you always get knocked down. And a lot of the successful entrepreneurs, you think of any successful entrepreneur, all these billionaires and so on, they failed several times in their life. I mean, some of them even went bankrupt twice and three times in their life before they
Yeah,
actually
that's
hit
correct.
it big. So it's perfectly normal to go through this. And I am very sorry for what you've gone through, obviously, but people need to be aware that there will always be knockbacks. You'll get knocked down, but the most
Oh
important
yes,
thing is you
definitely.
just keep your sanity and just keep getting back up again, and be optimistic in life, and put your confidence in Allah, your Creator, because He's not going to leave you like that. He's always going to get you out. This is a trial, and this is trials and tribulations that we all go through.
Yes, of course,
And
yeah.
inshallah, things will become better for you. I hope this gets resolved
Inshallah,
in your
yeah.
favor. But carry on. You're flowing really well, and I'm really enjoying listening to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, as you said, looking back to my life, I always talk about this with my friends that what we had when we're 10 years old. We were having so much more when we were 20, and now as we are in our starting 30s, early 30s, so we're having so much more than what we were having 10 years back. So, mashallah, yes, no complaints in that. Allah is given a lot. Like, we can't even thank enough about it. But yeah, like it was a small hardship, and things could happen. These things could happen if you get into a lucrative sort of business. We thought that it's going to help us make lots and lots of money, and then we'll be, the kings of the world, and we'll be doing whatever we want, and we'll be helping others. And we've always been like that. Getting into, if somebody's getting married and they're not having that money, we used to collect money from all four of us, some little amount from everybody's account, and then giving us small amount, sort of a token from us, to just to have a little bit of ease when somebody is doing something. But yeah, things really turned south, and after that we've seen some really hard times. But all thanks to Allah, like we're doing great again. uh, not as good as it was back then, but hopefully, inshallah, very soon. I'm very sure that everything is going to come back to the normal, and hopefully that thing gets resolved. And if that case gets resolved, then uh, no problem whatsoever. I would be so thankful. But until then, yeah, I've started a small. You can say it's a construction related interior work over here in Bangalore. I've moved down to southern part of India, and now I'm settled here in Bangalore. And I'm talking to you from here, from Bangalore. It's a very nice city and really nice weather over here, so no complaints regarding that. Uh, Especially from where I'm from, it's things are really like you get very humid and hot summers there. So it's not the case here in Bangalore. So yeah, enjoying the weather here and slowly and steadily getting back, on track. So yeah, that's my little sort of story till now, a little
Yeah.
introduction.
So Bangalore is the tech city in India, isn't it? There's a lot of
Oh
like
yes, yes,
technology companies.
it's a tech capital.
It's like
Yes,
Silicon Valley of India.
yeah, you can
That's
say
what.
that Silicon Valley of
Yeah.
India. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And are you looking into entering the IT market, or is your focus now purely on construction?
No, I I've always tried new things, and I'm not afraid of trying anything new right now.
Hmm.
So many of my friends whom I've studied in my school days and college days, they're here and they're working in good MNCs and everything. So I always keep in touch with them, and they sort of,
Hmm.
every time I meet with a friend, he's got a new advice for me. So yeah, I keep listening to
Yeah.
things, and I've tried as well. And very recently, I've come across. Like there's a technology, but that that is being used in the networking, setting up a network in of any basic organization, and that's called, I think, DevOps. You must be very very familiar with it. So yeah, I've been told to get into DevOps and get into, like, that's not a very big thing, but DevOps is needed everywhere. And as I've been told, I was not a very bright student, so I've never been very studious or anything like that. So I've been told that it doesn't involve any coding or anything normal human being cannot do. So I've been told that it would be good if I opt for a small course, or like if I sit with a friend and who's working already in that field and gain some knowledge about it. And so if God forbid, if something goes wrong with what I'm doing right now, so I have a chance, or like I have an option to get into that IT sector as well and take care of myself then. Yeah.
Yeah, so Mustafa, this is all great stuff because I was trying to identify different things, and you watched the previous podcast where I had the founder of Zeus Development in Malaysia. I think you watched that, and I
Oh
feel
yeah.
it. I see there's some synergy. Like he's into property development, you're into construction, and maybe we can do some sort of collaboration between us. And inshallah, maybe you
Oh
can
yes,
come
definitely.
to the Isle of Man, and we can all put our heads together and work on that because construction, property development, that kind of area is also an area that I am interested in. But I don't have the knowledge like you guys have. So it's something that I need experts from that side. And I would like to also cooperate with you in that. But on the other end, when you spoke about possibly looking into DevOps and stuff, yes, I'm fully aware there is high demand in the DevOps, continuous integration, continuous deployment, that kind of stuff, and also in networking, the architecture and all that. That's all important, networking. Okay, but
Alright.
I also my opinion, if you want to look into IT and enter in IT sector, is to look into cybersecurity because you already covered quite a bit on your master degree, and if
Mhm.
possibly, I mean I am also a research student, part of in Teesside University. So what I'm
Okay.
thinking is possibly if I'll find something that can be done online for cybersecurity and to get you there, and possibly over maybe even a year or 2 years, you can probably come out with another master degree in cybersecurity, and that will give you the edge in the marketplace worldwide. So that means you can actually go anywhere after that because you are very strong. By the way, you've got a nice master degree in networking, and then when you do add to that a second master degree in cybersecurity, I think that the demand is there. There is a huge demand in the Isle of Man right now for cybersecurity experts, and all they're using really software to do penetration testing, or
Mhm.
on different servers and stuff like that. So the software does all the work for you. But I think if you get that, you'll be able to enter that market as well, and possibly we could do business in that because I'm already involved in IT. I already have
Alright.
a consultancy business focused on financial technology, so I can easily latch
Mhm.
on as a second service that we have cybersecurity experts and so on. So I think if you can do that part time or something, I'll work with you on that. Then that will
Yeah.
open opportunity. Also, your construction business. If you keep that
Yeah.
going, just keep building it up. Inshallah, may Allah resolve the issue that you've gone through right now with the land. But also, we can also look into doing something in the UK and in the Isle of Man. I mean, Mujahid is based in Glasgow. I've recently invested in there for property. I'm looking at derelict buildings that need redevelopment, maybe buildings that are going to be demolished or something like that. Brownfield sites,
Alright.
that kind of stuff. I'm looking into. But it would be great if we have an expert that understands construction, maybe manages a team of builders and tradesmen, to fix up these places, and then we can rent them out or even provide them as accommodation for people that are struggling at the moment, might not have any accommodation, like refugees and so on. So yeah, definitely something that we can cooperate on, inshallah. Um, so now, what is your purpose in life? What would you say is your purpose in life now? You've gone through all this. What's your
Mhm.
dream, basically? That's what I want to get to. If you have everything
Alright.
sorted and you can go anywhere
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do anything you want, what would you like to be doing right now, or in 5 to 10 years time? Whatever you
Like
feel like.
to be very honest, I would say that I have never thought about me, just putting on constraints and just being connected to one stream all throughout. That's not me. Like I want different stuff, and I want my brain to get stretched. That's how I am. I want different things and new things, and I am not afraid of any type of challenges or taking on anything new and conquering it. So that's how I've been all my life, and that's how I am. That's how I want to like. That's something which I want to continue on with my life. And once like. I want to be related sort of to construction and real estate. That's something which involves a real money and moolah, if we talk about that, and that is a necessity in life, as we all know. So yeah, I want to be related in a way or the other to real estate or construction industry, definitely, because it's something which is very interesting. It involves so many different sort of things, and in simple words, if you just look around, you must be sitting in a house or and it is having plumbing, it's having gas work, it's having electrical wires and everything. So it involves so many different things, and if you are there when things are going on, you tend to catch on to so many different things, and you tend to get so many different skills as a human being, and that is going to help you going forward in your life. So that's the mentality I'm having. And maybe just like I even go a little bit further in that case, and I think of maybe if I end up somewhere where I can help somebody who's in need, and like all of this makhluk that Allah have made. If I get to be good for even one of them, then my life is sorted. That's how I go, and that's the end goal. Yeah. So I hope I've made myself clear. Yeah.
Yes, now you're very clear, and I'm very touched by your answer. And this is exactly
Thank
what
you.
I'm looking for, people that not just focus on themselves, but focus on others, trying to improve themselves so they become more productive and more useful to others. Because that is exactly why Allah created us, to be useful
Yeah.
and to serve
That's what I
others,
think.
help those who are in need. You're in need today, tomorrow someone else is in need, and you pay it forward. It's a cycle. Someone
Yeah. That's
helps
how
you,
it
you
goes.
help someone else, and you go like in that cycle. So it's absolutely great what you're saying. But have you like done construction with your hand, or do you usually hire people to do the work in India at the moment?
Oh,
Do you bring a team together and they work on specialized in different areas like
mhm.
bricklayers and plumbers and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that? Or have you trained in that field yourself? Are you
All
like a
right. So
plumber now
yes.
or electrician? Do you
Uh,
have any sort of
See, the
technical
thing is,
skills in that area?
not that I can say that I have right now any certification or anything of that sort, but yes, I would love to have anything, as a certified plumber or as a certified electrician. I would love to have that course done and be, certified skilled in that manner. But yeah, being what we've done up till now, like as when I was doing construction work back at home, and then at that time, me along with three other of my friends, we formed a company, and we started buying small pieces of land, and then we used to get some labors, and we used to contract little things to them, to different teams of workers, and they tend to work together to, like, for example, brick work was contracted to some guy, and then the electrical work was contracted to some other guy, and the plumbing got, like, that's how it was, and that's how everything get built up from the ground. And once everything is completed, once the property is fully finished, and we can put it up on sale on a website, or like on a, what we were doing at that time, we used to have a small WhatsApp sort of page in which we would a group sort of thing in which we used to add different people and drop photos and everything, and whatever we were building and whatever we were having the plans of building ahead. So that's how it's circulated, and that's how we were making things done at that time. Now, like, if you ask like what I'm doing right now, I'm having a small firm here in Bangalore by the name Premium Gypsum Plaster, and what we are doing right now is there are like, mm, how to put it, like, it's going to be a little hard for somebody who's not from the, like, who's not having any knowledge of construction, but still I would try to explain. The thing is that in UK and like in European countries, things usually get built on wood, so that there are like proper insulation over there, because you tend to get really, really cold winters over there. But things here in India are a little bit different. So we use brick or ready mixed concrete, or even concrete blocks somewhere to make the foundations, or like segments in the building when everything is being built up. So there you need to have a mortar sort of thing on top of everything, so that it's giving a good finish. So what we've come up with is a part, a different. It's a little bit different in the chemical formula. If you talk the actual existence of gypsum plaster, it's a little bit different from the putty which is being used before the painting and primer and all that sort of thing. So it's a little different. It's how to put it. It's like a substitute for that mortar sort of thing. So at first, it's like not black in color; it's white. So it provides more shine, and you don't have to put too many layer of paints and putty and primer to get a good finish on it. So, and like it can protect. It's fire resistant, and it's got so many. advantages of its own over mortar. And when you're building like 30, 25 stories or 40 stories of the building, then you are also considering the weight of the building. And in that case, it's much, much lighter than using, the mortar plaster on the building. And you tend to go for this, shinier and give providing better finish gypsum plaster. So that's what I'm doing right now. We get contracts from big building firms. Like here, there are some firms by the name Prestige and Brigade and Shobha. If you go on Google and you can search, they're like big builders here, and they're really big in when it comes to real estate here in Bangalore or like in southern India. So we get contracts from them, and then we get some workers, and we get material from raw material from the vendors, and then we put that thing on the walls, and we provide something which is really appreciated these days, because not many people are working in this field, and it is something which is like a sort of a skill, I would say, which not many people are having here in India right now. So there is a small part of India which there are laborers there which who can do these sorts of work. So, and I've got a friend from that area, so it really helps us to get workers from that area and at a good price, a reasonable price, and that's how we're getting things done over here. And that also includes actually the fall ceiling part. Like if you go to a concert hall or a movie theater or any place of this sort, you get sound deadening tiles, sound absorbing things, or like, for example, even if you're not talking about that much, a basic toilet here, a basic bathroom, it is having some tile and partition, from the ceiling. It is having a little bit of uh, depth in it to hang the pipes, the sewage pipes and everything, which is the wastewater which is going. Yeah, to have that ceiling built, we also do that. Yeah, so we get contracts for that as well, and that is commonly known as grade work over here, tile grade work. So in the whenever we're making a quotation or getting a BOQ from any of the big builders, it's termed as grade fall ceiling. So yeah, that is something which we do as well.
Okay, so you don't have much competition in Bangalore. So you have got this
Reasonable
advantage as
competition, I
well.
would say, but not
Reasonable
not very
competition.
badly. Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do you win the business? Do you just you bid for the work? So there's work there, and you just bid, and then you usually get the work because you're slightly cheaper than everyone else, or how do you normally
Oh
find
yeah.
business? Your
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. That's how it should go, and that's how it is initially in the initial part of the business. That's how it is. You have to bid low to get somebody's attention, and then from there on, you can get the work order, and then you can move forward with it. But the thing is that once you've got once you worked for somebody and you've completed one, so for example, say one of the site, and they are happy with your work, then you sort of build a goodwill, and then like they are agreed on your cost and on like in all the conditions you are going to put a very reasonable price, but still it at times you can go on with a good price, and when it's not so competitive, and that's when we can make our amount, our fair share amount of profit, I would say.
So it's
So
very
yeah,
much like a
goodwill and good work.
referral business. Like so you do
Oh
a good
yes,
job on
yes,
one site, then they refer you to
yes,
another client, and your word goes
yes,
around.
correct,
And you feel
correct.
at the moment the business is growing slowly, organically. It's progressing. You're
Oh
getting
yes, like
the
when
demand
COVID hit,
demand for real estate
yes,
and stuff is
yes,
is increasing in
thing was
India.
really, yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, especially here in the southern part of India, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, in Chennai, and areas surrounding these places. uh, yeah, after COVID, I would say, like when COVID hit, everything, like the whole of the world got really stagnant, and nothing was going on for 2, 3 years. But now everybody has come back to the jobs, and all the companies are going full fledged, right now, and they are needing more and more people, and more people are coming to these big cities. And when people are coming, they need homes, and that's why everything is going up in price, and everything is getting expensive. and more real estate opportunities are coming, I would say. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to ask you about type of construction, like these prefabricated homes. You buy
Mm-hmm.
them very cheap from China or whatever. You just build it up like Lego basically. Have you done that, or
All
would
right.
you just build the traditional way of just bricks and mortar and cement, like you were
Oh,
saying? Or do you
all
have you
right.
tried looking into these light, construction type buildings where you could
Okay.
just put up a
Well,
house very quickly, two
I
bedrooms?
totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, but in India, like the type of climate that we have, nobody appreciates that sort of things that
Okay.
you told me. Like those are like for I would say for colder climates. Uh, there are companies who are buying old containers from these
Mm.
huge shipyards and logistic companies, and they are turning them into one
Yes.
bedroom apartment
Big.
sort of thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, tiny, and they're like really modular and very useful, and they're making use
Yeah.
of each and every inch that they can get from it. But those types of things, I would say, are not India has not touched on them as of now, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, so nothing of that sort over here.
Okay. So they like to build type,
Oh
like
yes,
just
they like to
like
make
long term.
everything from ground up. Yes, and
Okay.
still, like as you might know, most of our population is still living in villages and small town areas,
Mm.
and not everybody is here in these big cities. Everybody prefer their own home, sort of like everybody has to have a house. Over
Mm.
the people are going to prefer a house 10 times more than a flat. That's how it is
Okay.
in like if you're talking to a common middle class Indian, I would say. It's only up to like when you get to people who are usually working in the IT industry or like really corporate work, then they would be fine to live in a big society with so many people around them, and they would be okay living in a flat with thousands of people around them. But usually, a middle class person here in India, he is always having a thought of having a house one day in his life. That's how it is.
Okay, that's interesting. So the demand is there, and there's everyone wants to own their own property. So that's fueling your business, which is a good thing. Alhamdulillah for that. But have you sort of considered? Okay, you said something about you want to travel abroad, maybe come back to Scotland again and stuff like that. So if you do that, would you
Yeah.
still continue the business in India? You say you got your partners set up there,
hmm
or you would have to close that business down. What would happen? Or you would sell the business on to another construction business company. What would be
Okay.
your vision? How would you
All
exit
right.
your business if you wanted to move on?
Yeah. Yeah. So see, basically the thing is that now we are on a position where most of the things get taken care of on the phone, believe it or not. But like
Mm.
you need to go into a very few amount of meetings. You have to be physically present over there just in the beginning to get the work, and that can be done by my friend. No problem with that. So even in the like if I'm not here, if I'm not around here, I'm in some other part of the world. I've never thought of closing this business down because it's running good, and I'm having high hopes about it that it's going to grow and go even further than where it is right now. So I've never thought about closing this business here because I've already got my very good friend over here. He's a friend and a partner as well. So when like the main crucial part of the business is having the funds. When you need to talk to a vendor and you need to get some material which is required at the site, then you have to pay to get that thing. So when it comes to the payment, then there is the time when you should be ready with the amount of cash needed. So that is the main purpose of the business as I have understood up till now. So you need to have good amount of cash, and if you're having that sort of capital and you are ready to get the initial payments done from to clear every vendor's whatever you're buying from them, then basically it's just a matter of few weeks when you can get all the stuff ready for the person that you're working for, and you can submit your tax invoice. You can submit a bill, and then hopefully in a month or two, you can get your money back. That's so yeah. It's actually very easy, I would say now. It was not like that at first, but yeah, now we've understood how things work, and it so yeah, never thought of closing this business. It's doing great. Yeah, so
No, no, it's good. It's good that you have a long term vision for the business to grow the business. And of course, I wouldn't expect you to close down a successful company or a company that has potential to grow even more.
yeah,
I was just thinking, oh, would you sell your share in the business to your partners, or you could potentially keep the business going and then extend it, the services
yeah.
to other countries. But
Because
you said things have improved in India, but you know, do foreigners look into investing in India, maybe like in the real estate market, or is that just exclusively for the local community? Or could we think of something where we can actually offer off-plan apartments to foreign investors to invest in India, especially in Bangalore and all these tech cities that are
yeah,
up
yeah.
and coming and they're innovators and so on. What's your opinion on these things?
Okay, all right. So as far as I know, I've not seen any foreigners working firsthand here in any part of India in construction. But the thing is that I know few companies who are using funds, and they are sort of getting investors from abroad, and they're trying to get their money to be invested here, and it is actually going on a pretty big scale right now, I would say. People are not talking about it, and so many people here in India are not even aware about it. But big companies, and all the how would
All the
especially like
blue chip
for
companies,
example, if
like
I
all the,
say that, you might be very well aware of the wood group, as if it's there in the UK. So that type
of
of
course,
things
from
from
Aberdeen.
each part
Yes,
of the yeah, from Aberdeen, yeah, where we were. So that wood group sort of company, like from China, from Taiwan, from you name it, from Russia, from different types of from different parts of the world, people are actually investing in India, and they are getting good returns on it because it is increasing day by day. And as like I can tell you that for sure, because like one of our customer, one of our clients, whenever I go to have a meeting with them, and they are based in a building which is having two or more than two, I would say, offices. They just deal with foreign investments, and they are having good amount of football in their office. So that's what's happening here, I would say, in Bangalore. So many people from abroad are coming, and they're not investing firsthand by themselves, but they are actually hiring in some investment. I would say investment firm or something, some brand sort of thing, which is then again investing it in real estate and these sort of things somehow, and they're getting good money out of it.
yeah. So, at the moment, you've got experience in building residential homes. Like you buy land and you build residential homes, and you commercial sites as well. You've done that. What other types of buildings have you experienced in constructing so
Now, to
far?
be
What
honest, we've only
what's your
done like
field?
yeah, we've just done small block of homes, like I would say a chain of homes, like four similar homes, or like five or some place. If they are big, like 1,300 square feet, then we've got two of them together. That's what we've done. And like as I told you, what the bad thing happened with us, it was at that time when I was, we were very keen to start and get into commercial sort of, multi-story apartment building, but we were not able to do that up till now. So right now I am working in that field, but not basically constructing it, doing interior work in that building. You can say that, yeah.
Okay. So when you build these, chain of residential homes,
Mhm.
what sort of margin are we talking about? Are you able to double your investment when you build the
No,
house and
no.
you sell it on, or are the
Mhm.
margins are very tight and you only make a small profit from it?
See, the thing is that since from our childhood we've been told never to cheat and never to do anything wrong. But as
Yeah.
many people are doing that here in the industry, I know that very well. But all four of us, all of my partners, we when we started, even before we started, we were having a mindset never to, never to do those sort of, never to go down that lane. So we were providing the best material that we can find. The I would say the textbook sort of construction which is needed. People, what you can do, like if somewhere a steel bar is needed, which has to be of 20 mm, and the length should be of 22 feet, and so you can, like, that is going to be expensive. So you can cut down to, say, just using 12 of the steel bar, and that is going to save you a little amount of money, which is not going to be very significant in your profit, but that's what's happening here in the business. It's a bad one after. So we've never done that. So we've always stick to the textbook sort of norms and rules when we were in the construction industry. So, and on top of that, so many people were doing the same thing. So we have to keep our rates and everything very competitive. So we cannot say that we're going to we've ever made more than 15 or 20% of profit in any of our properties that we've sold up till now. Yeah, so that is the max. Yeah.
So how long would it take to build one home? To
Oh yeah, that's
Does it take a
that's
long
a
time?
catch actually. Yes, we were actually very lucky in that thing. So most of our houses got sold like when we didn't even get the first slab, done on the house. So we were very lucky in in that part.
So you've
Because
pretty much sold the properties before they were built, and
even
that's
before
that's good.
it has taken shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
that's
three
good.
or four of our
It's a good
houses got
business
sold at
model.
that time.
Yeah. So you've already gathered the cash, and then that way you
Yeah,
can pay for the costs. Now you can hire the people
yeah,
and
that,
the
yeah,
workers and so on, and
we
pay
understood that.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and it's good that you're ethical, you're God conscious, and you're not trying to cut corners. You're trying to give the best quality, which is very Islamic. And mashallah, this is something that I really respect when trade people,
Yes, sir.
follow these rules and they don't try to cheat or compromise in quality. They always give their best quality. I'm just gonna go a little bit, just off track from construction. How's India doing for renewable energy, like solar panels on properties and stuff like that? Is there much traction in that? Installing solar
Oh,
panels
yes.
and renewable energy and that kind of stuff, or are they not just interested? They just want
Like
hydrocarbons and
yeah, like when it comes to, I would say, like in Europe and in Western countries, it's running as a propaganda sort of thing, I would say, if you're going to compare it to India. So there, everybody's not talking about renewable energy and solar energy and all that sort of thing. But yeah, still government has slowly and steadily they've started subsidizing solar panels, and people are not having great huge benefits to put solar panels on their rooftops, but still the government, as they are subsidizing it, so people are a little bit keen and they want to explore that part as well. So yes, mostly I would say people who are educated and they know how things work in renewable energy and how it's important for our planet. They are they are really sticking to it and they're vouching for it and they're going for it. But not everybody has got the attention of solar panels or renewable energy as of now, I would say.
yeah, but you never had someone ask you, could you build me a home, but could you install also, solar panels and make it, a sustainable green home, or that's not it. People don't want that. They just want you to build the house and that's it.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's very
So
sadly I have to say, yeah,
yeah.
we were actually very keen on making houses, uh, at least have one of that element in it. So what we were doing a small rainwater harvesting sort of thing, and we were collecting
Mm.
all the rainwater and sending it back into the borewell where it was coming from. So yeah, we were very keen on doing at least one good thing in every property that we were building. But people usually they are not. Yeah,
Interesting.
it all comes to the, I would say, the education and the household, and the surroundings of where you are living, and you are whenever you're sitting with your mates and having a chat. People don't I would never imagine anybody here in India talking, a normal guy talking about renewable energy and using water harvesting techniques in their homes. So we are still lacking a little bit over there, sadly I have to say that. But yeah, slowly and steadily we are making progress in that field as well, and hopefully we'll will be more educated, and then we'll take good steps for renewable energy and making this planet a greener planet, I would say. Now, collectively,
Yeah,
but
I mean, since
not as of
since
now.
you're since you're in Bangalore, I mean, is there a big trend towards IoT, Internet of Things? Having all these devices, like maybe cameras on doors and like a smart city. Is there like a trend to like developing smart homes or anything
Yes, I
like
would
that?
say yes.
Because
Like I would say, if
because
we
that
want,
that would
if
tie in very nicely with your field, like networking, cybersecurity, and that kind of
um,
stuff. It,
I
it
can
would
see
tie
what
in, so
yeah,
you build homes, and
suggesting
I'm trying to create this connection as well.
yeah, but
I'm also interested in that myself. I'm looking into buying properties, like especially where Mujahid lives, Moz, and all the other our contacts in Scotland, and starting to renovate the homes, make them more sustainable, renewable, like maybe have solar panels and try to adopt these things, natural ways of heating up the house without using hydrocarbons, and also installing some sort of internet of things devices, internet things like that, so you can actually monitor your home when you're abroad, or via mobile, just using basic knowledge like cameras and that kind of stuff, so people can
yeah,
have a secured, the tenants can have some sort of security as well, and a way to monitor
mhm,
their home or control certain devices, that kind of stuff. So that's the way I'm thinking, and in a medium term to work on these things. So this is why I'm
yeah, yeah,
asking you about this, because I want to see how we can also cooperate, and possibly we can even cooperate in, inshallah, maybe we can make investments in India, like this brother that we had on the podcast previously, Mohid
yeah. Who's from Malaysia?
yeah, from Malaysia. He's installing
Yeah.
solar panels at the university that he's building, the campus site that he's building, and he has control, sole exclusivity for the solar panels. So all the electricity, additional electricity that's generated, he sells it to the grid, and that's profit to his business. So he installs the
Oh,
solar
good.
panels. The site becomes eco-friendly and self-sustaining for the university. But any additional electricity he sells on, and he pockets the profit, and that's how he generates money. But on his other project that he has, because he has land near the border of Singapore, he's looking for additional investors to come on board and assist him with constructing this big commercial premises, or you've heard the podcast. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could possibly
Yeah,
see,
he's got a
pick
very
his
good plan.
brains. Yeah, he's got a lot of experience, so we can pick his brains and also
Mhm.
see what you're doing, and then think of how we can all cooperate together, do something in India, something in Malaysia, something in the UK, something in the Isle of Man, and
Inshallah.
grow together, inshallah, and pick on each person's experience, because we're all, Allah created us all different, from different angles. We
Yeah.
have different experiences, and if we cooperate together, we can achieve more. We could do a lot more, and we can all benefit. We can
That's
all
right.
grow. So that's
That's
the
right.
thing. So we
That's
need to
yeah,
we
that's
need
the
to move
basic sense
away.
of community and society. Yeah.
Exactly, and we need to move away from that scarcity. A lot of
Mhm.
times when I speak to people, they're always too scared to cooperate and to share resources. Like, for example, when I moved to the Isle of Man, the first thing I
Yeah.
did, because I wanted to go into IT, set up an IT company. So I looked for anyone that's got an IT company, and just made contact with them and said, listen, I'm going to set up a company. Instead of me setting up a company, let's cooperate together. Let's have one company between us, or set up a group company which owns
Mhm.
each of our businesses, and we
All right.
share resources. So we have one office, And I have experience in the financial sector. You have experience in mobile phone development. He has experience in web. Let's cooperate together and work as one team. So we attack the market together. So I might go to a client and they might need a mobile app. So we can win that business. You might need a website to be developed. You have more experience than me. You take it. It might be a bank. You need some back office or back end development. We can win the business. So we win together. But I
That's
always
great.
felt, you asked me about the Muslims in the community, and I told you they're always scared. They're living in fear, and it's like a fictitious fear. It's like a fake fear. It's not real fear. It's like
Yeah.
imaginary fear. They're scared of a ghost that doesn't even exist. It's the truth, you know. Unfortunately, so you meet brothers there, they kind of scared if you start asking them too many questions, as if they're doing, like someone's doing something wrong, and they're scared that, who are you? You're like an inspector. Are you the police? Are you undercover agent? Or that kind of stuff. So they try and, that kind of stuff. They have this fear, this paranoia. So that's what I found, and that's why they don't cooperate together, because they're always scared that you will take their share. But like, if you have a business and you're into IT and I'm into IT, and we join together, I'm gonna steal your ideas or something. That's complete nonsense. We're here to cooperate
Yes.
and help each other, to grow together. So they have this scarcity mentality where they think there's only limited amount of resources, limited amount of money in the market, and if they don't take it, someone else will take it. So they're all fighting for a very small slice of the cake, instead of realizing the whole world is a big,
Yes,
massive
it's open.
marketplace. It's open. It's
Correct.
much bigger than that little crumb that they're fighting over. If they just open their eyes and look around, they'll realize that actually there's an ocean of potential, ocean of opportunities. And this is why they always
That
stay
totally
inferior.
makes sense. I like.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
totally for what you said right now.
Yes.
Yes.
And here's the thing as well. I get called once in a while when I reach out and I ask people for advice or anything, because I want to engage the Muslim community. They tend to just disappear. They always avoid me. They avoid phone calls. They avoid cooperating with me. They avoid that kind of stuff. However, suddenly when they're struggling or their business is struggling during COVID, I was getting a lot of business at that time. I was getting a lot of business because most of the work that I do is all remote. So I have an advantage. So they weren't getting mobile development work and web development work and that kind of stuff. And then they started coming to me asking me, do I know anyone that needs this? Could I pass business their way? Could I give them my contacts? Okay. And just very recently, in fact, today, one guy called me up and he said to me, could I give him my whole entire database of all my contacts? And I said, well, what do you want to sell them? I want to know what you're selling them. And he started telling me about some sort of a Ponzi scheme. They put some money in some crypto token, and then this money is going to earn them some interest every year. And I said, brother, interest is haram. Brother, do you know that this crypto thing, is it really halal what you're doing? I need to really understand before I can put you forward in front of people that I know. So you need to tell me more. So he was always approaching me, asking me to give him. How can I benefit him? He's never coming to me and saying to me, can I help you with your business? Or can
That's
I
actually
want
what's
to,
wrong with the world right
I
now.
want to,
Yes.
that's it. So everyone's thinking, what can I take from
Yes.
others? Instead of what can I offer? And I'm
That's how
thinking
it should be.
always,
Yeah.
yes, every time I speak to someone, and you'll notice this when I'm having a conversation with you, I'm thinking, what can I do for my brother Mustafa? How could I benefit him? How could I grow his business? I'm not thinking, oh, okay, how can I benefit from Mustafa? I'm thinking, how can I benefit you? And this is the way we're
Yeah.
supposed to think. So, and I'm always
Correct.
thinking, well, he can, we can work together. Even if I have no benefit, I can help him grow. I can open a market for him and that kind of stuff. And together we can achieve more. This is the way I'm thinking. And this is what I was saying on a previous podcast. I was saying Muslims supposed to be givers. We are here to give, to contribute to
Correct.
this world.
100%.
So when we leave, because at the end of the day, when we leave this world, we're not going to take anything with us. We're not going to take our house or car. We're not going to take nothing with us. But we are going to take our good deeds, how people
Yeah.
remember us. When people will
Correct.
pray for us after we pass away, they'll say, oh, this guy was such a kind person. He gave me some knowledge. barakallah fi, he taught me something. He made me able to go and catch fish and feed myself instead of just giving me a fish or just having some pity for me. He reached down and he taught me his knowledge, and then he inspired me to become this and that, or he inspired me to set up my own company. So that's very important. That's the thing that I respect you a lot, Mustafa, and I
Thank
respect
you so
Brother
much.
Moz and all our common friends that we have between us. Because they are the sort of people that are always thinking about other people. They're always thinking, how could I help someone in need and that kind of stuff. And Allah always opens ways for these people. And that's what I'm trying to say as well. Have you come across the law of attraction, the secret? Have you heard of the law of attraction? Whatever you conceive in your mind becomes manifests reality. So there's this
Oh,
thing where it tells that kind of stuff, law of attraction. You focus on
yes.
something, then it will come to you, you attract it into your life. Well, in Islam, and they call it the laws of the universe. Like the universe, you pray to the universe, and the universe gives you. In Islam, we have Allah. Actually, if
Yes,
you
correct.
pray to Allah, you ask Allah earnestly, and you focus on the thing that you need, Allah will make an opening for you and will provide for you. Also, at the same time, we have the law of gratitude. In shakartum fa'azidakum. If you give thanks, I'll increase you. They also have this in the law of attraction kind of rules. They say law of gratitude, where they pick a stone and they say thank you to the stone. It's idol worship, okay?
Mhm.
However, they say it works. Say all these successful people, they have this gratitude rock. They call it a gratitude rock. Maybe this whole
Oh,
concept comes from Hinduism or something, where they get this stone, they buy it. I watched the video, and then every day they kind of like start rubbing that stone and say thank you for giving me health, thank you for. They're saying it to a stone, so subhanallah. But we have the
yes,
law of gratitude where we say alhamdulillah for the blessings you gave us. Every day we say alhamdulillah. Even our prayer we say alhamdulillah,
correct.
in part of the verses in the Quran and so on. So we give thanks to Allah, and Allah gives us more. He increases us. Also, there is something called the law of contribution. They say this is the law of the universe and stuff. So when you give charity, it comes back. In the Quran, it tells us that. It tells us when you give charity, you're not reducing your wealth, you're actually increasing your wealth. Allah returns it back many folds. So you
Tenfold, so
invest, you
even
get
more, yeah.
10 folds, 100 times, yeah, so on. So it's amazing. All these concepts that they're using, and they're calling the laws of the universe, like the law of gravity. Yeah, when you give out, the universe gives you back. It's actually Allah that's giving you. When you give charity, when you do good, when you help someone, Allah sends other people to help you. When you
Correct.
focus on other people's problems, all your problems go away. Unfortunately, people have this scarce mentality, and they always thinking, "Oh, I've got a problem. Please, everybody, help me, give me," and that sort of stuff. But they're never thinking, "What can I do to the world? Who can I help? Because surely I'm better off than some other people. Even if they're poor, there's always someone that's poorer. There's always someone that's in worse condition than them. But people don't see that. And when they start
That's
looking
so
down,
true. Yes.
they'll become more grateful. But unfortunately, they look up. And I was sitting with a Muslim brother recently, and I was having a conversation with him, and he was saying to me how more lucky I am, how more fortunate I am than him. I said to him, brother, stop comparing yourself with me. Stop looking at me and saying, oh, you're so lucky. Look at yourself and try to make yourself a better version of yourself. And if you want to compare yourself to someone else, compare yourself to someone that's less fortunate than you. You are a married man, you have children. Look at the people that are not married. Look at the people that didn't get children, even if they're married. Allah didn't give them that risk
Yes.
of children. So say Alhamdulillah to what Allah has given you, and
Correct.
you will realize that you are more lucky than lots of people. 90% of the people, you are more lucky than them. You are like a super rich man compared to people that are starving and they didn't eat for
Correct. Correct.
days.
That's so true.
They're not. It's not our option. They have no option. They have no food. It's not like someone is doing some fast or some diet and they're trying to lose weight. No, they don't have any option. There's no water. There's no clean water. They're in
Yes.
prison. They're under occupation. So always say Alhamdulillah that you have a freedom. If not anything else, you have freedom. You have
Correct.
opportunities. So this
Yes,
is
I
the
would. I would
unfortunate
second
state of
everything that you
the
said over here. Yes.
yes, and this is the unfortunate state of the Muslims today, and we need to change that. We need to inspire people to become more productive and more proactive Muslims. And a Muslim is just someone that submits his will to the will of God. You know, we are here as servants of Allah, so we should be doing our godly work in this world. And one of them is doing
That's
business.
it.
Business is also a form of worship. You know,
Yes.
education is a form of worship. All this stuff is important. And this is why I'm doing this podcast so I can share what I've gone through, challenges, not just successes, not saying, oh, look at me or look at what I have or look what I own and that kind of stuff. I don't want that. I want people to realize that we failed so many times, and I really appreciate your story because you shared successes and failures, and it's not so much failures, these are expensive lessons. This is life. Life is like that. Life doesn't go in a straight linear path like that. It goes up and
Oh,
down, and every time you get knocked down, you got to get back up and keep fighting back, and
and to
eventually
keep
life will
coming back.
just yeah, and life will eventually get exhausted and say, let him through, just let him go to the next level
Inshallah.
up. And then it happens
Yeah.
and you break through that ceiling. Okay, so inshallah, and we could do it together. And this is why I'm
Inshallah.
calling for us to all cooperate together and unite and become one body like it's supposed to be, because every Muslim, you know, is one body. So if one Muslim suffers, the whole body will suffer. That's my 2 cents worth. I just wanted to add. But yeah,
That is so much more, like that is so meaningful actually, if you give a little thought about it. And I'm so glad that you brought this this thing up here, and it's such a nice initiative that you've started. And like so many different people of all walks of life can, basically Muslims and people who are like minorities wherever they are, they can relate, they can listen to these podcasts, and they can relate in so many different ways. And they could they could fight for themselves and for others in their family, and they could get back in life and do something good about themselves. So yeah, it's really good, and I really appreciate what you're doing here. And one more thing, you said, yeah, like you used the word Alhamdulillah, like that's we for no reason. My dad always tells me, like, for no reason, even everything is going bad, we should never forget to say Alhamdulillah, because there are so many things which we've been giving and which we've been given, and we don't even recognize them. We don't even realize that it's it's just like it's just a necessity or like a basic thing to us, but that could be a luxury or like something like it could be a very big privilege for somebody else. So we should always practice and say Alhamdulillah more in our life. And he also says that like father of every human being, Adam al-Islam, Adam, peace be upon him. So when 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 he got his body built and the soul was put into his body, and that all happened in Jannah. So he sneezed. The first thing that a human being did, he sneezed, and after that he said Alhamdulillah. So that was the first time a whole the mankind ever has spoken. So we should practice more of saying this word, and that also contributes to so many different things. And then maybe we'll get some intervention from Allah, and we'll start appreciating small little things. And yeah, that's something which I really wanted to put over here. And one more thing, brother Mujahid, he told me something really good. Once there was like I was having a bad phase in my life, and I said that I don't want to do anything. I just want to. I would be. I would be so lucky if I get a chance to go and live in Saudi Arabia and live in either Makkah or Medina or some other sacred city and sacred part of Saudi Arabia, where Prophet has spent a good amount of time, and to be more connected with the Almighty, and sort of doing good deeds as if it's easy doing over there. And it was such a beautiful thing that he said. He said that we we have, like, from the day we've been born, we have taken from our society and from the world. So we should not be focusing on living there and getting benefits out of it. We should be living somewhere where Islam has not taken effect as of now, and we should start caring over there. We should start leaving our mark over there. And that was something which was so beautiful, and I would love to put it here so that people can listen to it, and maybe somebody is going to, you know, be able to act upon it and do something about it. And that's how I have started thinking in my life, and that's the reason I told you about, we had an interaction and I told you about coming together to this or anything, a small anything, like basically starting over there so that we can be helpful for other students or like refugees or people who are unfortunate. Unfortunately, they're not having those many privileges in their life to be helpful for them and doing some good deeds for them. So yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking of putting here in the end. So yeah, thank you for giving me the
Yeah.
opportunity. Thank you so much.
No, no, you're more than welcome, brother. The thing is that what you're saying, you're trying to save a life. What this is what it is when you give someone hope, opportunities, give them the right to education, shelter, that kind of stuff, even dawah, even guidance, to the creator. I find the people in the Isle of Man, not like in the UK. I mean, I've done dawah in the UK, but the people in the Isle of Man, they're very receptive, they're very welcoming, they listen, which is great because you
Hmm.
can tell them,
Okay.
that you give them direction, they would at least consider it, they will think about it, they will ask some really good questions, not like they'll be closed-minded like some people that
All
I
right.
spoke to. They just they I know I'm not interested in. I know I'm happy the way my life is going, and so they're not interested to find out. Of course, Allah only guides those who seek guidance. Not
Oh
just like
yes,
you,
definitely.
because we wish good for everyone. We wish everyone that beautiful opportunity to read the Quran and to know what their Creator, is talking to them about and what He's telling them and the guidance and so on. But not everyone will have that opportunity because they have to seek it first to get it. But yes, I
Yes.
understand and I completely agree with what Mujahid said. It's actually true. And we should always show people the beauty of Islam through our actions and show them that we are people that are contributing to the society. We're trying to build the economy. We're trying to do so many amazing things, and then they will start thinking, who are these people that are being given a bad name in the media? Why is the media attacking these people when these people are so kind? They're more generous. They are so beautiful people. They're out there to help everyone, and you're calling them terrorists and murderers and all these bad things. And people will start to realize that people are not that stupid. Only a very small percentage of people will just follow what the media says. They get brainwashed and they don't look outside and realize the
Hmm.
reality. But we need to represent Islam in the best way through our actions, through our behavior, and we need to be good to everybody because everybody is a creation of Allah. Animals, humans, irrespective of they are Muslim or not. But we should be kind to everyone. Anyone that asks us for help, we should help them and that kind of stuff. Because that's what it tells us in the Quran. Even the mushrik, or the kuffar, if they come to you asking you for shelter, protection, that kind of stuff, give them. And then when they want to leave, just give
Yeah.
them the way. Let them go. Give them that opportunity to see you and experience Islam and so on. If they want to leave, just let them go. Leave them in peace. As long as they're not trying to harm you. If someone's coming to attack you, defend yourself. But if someone's is asking you for protection, you give them protection. You help them. Show them the beauty, practical beauty of Islam. So yeah, that's definitely beautiful. You can, if you wanted to say anything, because I kept you up, and I know in India it's very late, so I don't want to keep you too long. And
Oh,
and,
that's
and I've
totally
really
fine.
enjoyed and I really enjoyed this podcast with you. I've learned a lot from you, and I believe everything you've said is very beneficial to the audience and anyone in the future that watches this stream. Inshallah. Anyway, if you want to add anything, go ahead. Maybe another
Yeah.
couple of minutes and we'll wrap up.
Yeah. Inshallah. Yeah. I would say, yeah, it was really nice, having an opportunity to share about what I've been through and, sharing, you know, bringing people together as a community, and people can get back to these podcasts and they can have a listen and they can just learn or have some hope in their lives. And we would be like you would be like, your effort would be done. And so, yeah. And I would love to also say that you can put my email ID there. I'll send you my email ID. If anybody in any part of India or anywhere close by is having any problem, then they can contact me. And like, I've got good connections here. I've got good amount of friends. I've got a very huge circle here. So in any ways, if I would be helpful to anybody in any part of the world, I would consider myself really lucky. And yeah, so that is the thing which I would really want to say at the end and conclude here. And it was such a, again, it was a very great uh, this podcast was a very good opportunity, I would say, to come and sit, with you and share our thoughts like that. So yeah, a very good experience. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely do it again. We'll do another part two. Maybe invite a couple of other brothers as well, and we'll have a 3-4 way conversation as well. Discuss different
Sure, sure.
ideas. Perhaps maybe bring the brother from Malaysia yourself, because you're in construction, and have a discussion on different things. Maybe there could be an opportunity, to work on his project in Malaysia. Malaysia isn't that far away, is it, from India? I don't think it's that far away, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
A big
No,
flight.
I would say just 3 or 4 hours of flight, and
Yeah,
just 3 hours, I would say, not more than that.
yeah.
3 or 4. Yeah,
Yeah, because I feel there's
so not,
synergy there,
but not very
property
far away. Yeah,
development,
totally open.
construction, so we can cooperate on
Yeah, that's
different
correct.
things. Yeah, and I have a brother
Definitely.
as well in Australia, so even if I go to Malaysia, I could always go a little bit further to Australia and visit my brother and so yeah, I have family in Australia, that neck of the woods. So yeah, we'll wrap up here because we don't want to keep it too long, and inshallah we'll talk again. And I would also add your LinkedIn profile to the description. I've got my LinkedIn profile if people want to contact me, and I'll put your LinkedIn profile as well, and then that way they can connect, and then you can build your connections as well on LinkedIn, and we can all cooperate. But yeah, be aware of everyone that contacts you, because I get lots of people trying to contact me and telling me different things. Not everyone is genuine, and most people that need help, I can tell you this now, they will never ask you for help. You have to really find out yourself. These are genuine people that need support and so on. Only very few of them will,
Yes.
they're at this breaking point and they'll say, I am in such a dire state, please help me, and that kind of stuff. But most of them, they keep it to themselves, and you have to go out there to look for the people that need, and
Yeah,
we'll
you just
work
have
on
to.
that
Yeah,
together.
they can find it for yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
agree.
good.
Yeah,
Anyway, Jazakallah kull khair. Thank you very much for coming on the podcast, and thank you
that's
for
right.
viewers for watching. And last but not least, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and take care for now. Bye bye.